At the end of Act 1, everything appears to be back to normal. The conflict has been resolved, the younger son has been forgiven by the father. The family's reunited, right? Not exactly. There's one more character in this story we haven't met yet. He has not yet learned that the lost son has been found. Now, almost always, when people think of this story, it's all about Act 1. The younger son, his coming home, the father's acceptance. And as a result, almost everyone thinks of this story in the most sentimental terms. We imagine the original listeners hearing this marvelous story of forgiveness and their eyes welling up with tears. But if you look at the context, if you look at the people Jesus was speaking to, if you look at Jesus' purposes in telling this parable, you'll realize that the original listeners were not wiping away tears from their eyes. They were thunderstruck. They were offended because Jesus' purpose in telling this parable was not to give us a sentimental message that somehow God will accept us no matter what we do. He is here to say basically this, that everything you've ever heard and everything you've ever thought about how to approach God is wrong. The story continues in Act 2, when a new conflict arises as the father throws a feast. So Jesus continues. The older brother was in the field, and when he came near the house, he heard music and dancing. So he called a servant and asked him what was going on. And the servant replied, "Your brother is come, and your father has killed the fattened calf for him, because he has him back safe." But the elder brother was furious. He was so angry that he refused to go in and join the feast. It was his turn now to assault the integrity of the family. He was saying by not going in, "I will not be part of this family. I will not. I'm the heir, and I don't want to be in the same family with him in it." This forced this father to come out and plead with the elder brother. But he won't come. He's abrasive to the father. He says, "Look." Notice he doesn't call him father. He says, "Look, all these years I've been good. I've never disobeyed you. And when this son of yours that squandered your property comes home, you kill the fattened calf for him. I will not come in." Notice he doesn't say, "My brother." He doesn't even say, "Your son." He says, "This son of yours." He will not acknowledge being in the same family with him. Now, the elder brother's furious, but he's particularly upset about the cost. You see, in those days, people did not eat meat at a meal. They didn't because it was so expensive. It was a great delicacy. But the most expensive delicacy of all was the fattened calf. And it was not the sort of thing you would do even for a private party. So when the father kills the fattened calf, we know that meant that the entire village would have been at that costly feast. But the elder brother is too furious to go in. Now, you don't need a PhD in psychology, if you are the elder brother, to realize that this was the greatest day in the father's life. In fact, the father, by killing the fattened calf and inviting the entire village to this feast, is showing that this is the greatest day in the father's life. Anybody can see that. The elder brother certainly sees that. But it doesn't matter to him. He doesn't care. All he sees is that the father is using his inheritance in a way that he doesn't approve of. So what does this elder brother care for? What does he really care about? He cares about the father's things. But he doesn't really care about the father. He cares about the estate. He cares about the expense of all this. He's worried about the fattened calf, and he says, why couldn't it have just been a goat? He cares for the Father's things, but he doesn't care about the Father's heart. You see, when the Father went out to plead with the elder brother, he says, my son, you're always with me, and everything I have is yours. And that's the literal truth. Because when he divided his property between them, the younger son took his share, and now it's gone. And every single thing now that the Father owns, the elder brother will inherit. He's the only heir. It's all his. And all he can see is his share diminishing as a result of the younger brother's return. So he's furious, and he's humiliating the father on the greatest day of his life. And he's making the poor father come out of his great feast and argue with him. But how does the father respond? Again, he responds tenderly, and he says, my son, I still want you in the feast. And just as we're on the edge of our seats, just as we're asking the questions, how will the elder brother respond? And will the family be reunited in love? And will they all come together at the end? Jesus just ends the parable. He never tells us. Cliffhanger. Why? What is Jesus trying to get across? Much of the brilliance of Jesus' story lies in that, in the first act, we get a very traditional depiction of sin. You look at the younger brother and you say, yep, there it is, insulting the father, lover of prostitutes, down in the pigsty, down in the gutter, dissolute, licentious, self-indulgent. Yep, I recognize that. That's sin. But when you get to the end of the second act, Jesus has completely turned the tables. Here's what you see. You have two sons, one good, one bad, but they've both been alienated from the Father. And you come to realize they both want the Father's things, but not the Father. They've both been using the Father to get the things they really love, which is the wealth and the status. But one has been doing it by being very, very bad, and the other has been doing it by being very, very good. See, why does the older brother not go into the feast? He tells you. He says it. He says, I have never disobeyed you. There it is. That's the reason I'm mad. That's the reason why I'm not going into the feast. In other words, the thing that is keeping him from the Father is not his sin, it's his goodness. It's his righteousness. The younger brother was trying to get control by leaving and disobeying. But the elder brother was trying to get control by staying and obeying. The younger brother was trying to get control of the Father's things by breaking all the rules. But the elder brother was trying to get control of the Father's things by keeping all the rules. And Jesus is showing us that they're both lost. They both are without a relationship to the Father. They're both alienated from the Father, and they're both alienated from God. So there are two kinds of lostness. That's the reason Jesus put the elder brother in the parable. You can escape God as much through morality and religion as you can escape God through immorality and irreligion. There are a lot of people, there are a lot of Christians with an elder brother type of heart. If in your heart of hearts you say, I try very hard, I try to be obedient, I go to church, I pray, I try to serve Jesus, therefore, God, you owe it to me to answer my prayers, to give me a relatively good life, and to take me to heaven when I die. If that's the language of your heart, then Jesus is your model, Jesus is your example, Jesus is your boss, but he's not your Savior. You're seeking to be your own Savior. And all your morality and all your religion, it's all just a way to get God to give you the things you really want. And they are not God himself. Elder brothers obey to get things from God. And if those things aren't forthcoming, they get very angry. But gospel-believing Christians obey God just to get God, just to resemble Him and love Him and know Him and delight in Him. So the most stunning thing about this parable is the way it ends. The younger brother goes off but comes back, repents, humbles himself, and goes into the feast and is saved. But the elder brother, the good man, the man who's kept all the moral rules, is lost as far as we know. And Jesus' listeners know exactly what his point is. And it's the complete reversal of everything they've ever been taught, everything they believe. You can almost hear them gasp as the story ends. The lover of prostitutes is saved, and the man of moral rectitude is lost. Most of us think that God wants good people, but Jesus shows us that God wants new people. We like to think that the good are saved and the bad are lost, but Jesus shows that they're both lost, and though they may look different on the surface, underneath they're exactly the same. We think that the way to be saved is to repent of your sins, and Jesus shows us that you also have to repent of even the very reason you ever did anything good at all.